Good Times Ahead. I'm your boy Nick Eustace, and this is my buddy Tanner Thompson. And today we have with us my good friend from Western and the 13th ranked middleweight in the nation, Tommy Theocharis. Welcome, Tommy. Thanks for coming on, man. I know we've been wanting to do this for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I've wanted to have you on.
I appreciate that.
Basically, since we started, I just had like a list of guests in my mind, and I was like,
I appreciate that. No, I'm happy. I love doing this sort of stuff. So it's fun. You shoot the shit and just have a good time. Like we're reminiscing about Western just now. Could have been I could have been talking about that for days, man.
I wish we had the camera on that. Actually, I don't know. I might not have a job, but those were some good times, man. Like London was great. I know you grew up in the area.
Yeah, so I grew up in Stratford, and I kind of grew up in London as well. My family's from that area. Stratford's a small little town, and if you want to go to the mall or like even the movie theaters, we just jet down to London just for something to do. Even like the shopping mall, Masonville. Like I literally grew up in Masonville, man. Like I've been to that place maybe a million times. But yeah, so I basically grew up in that area. I lived in London for 8 years. Yeah. For 8 years. I moved there 2012, which is crazy because at this point I was my first year at Western. I was in res 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Scary to think about, huh?
Scary,
it's actually scary. I was thinking about like
graduated college 3 years ago. It feels like I was there last week.
Almost a decade, man. It's
crazy.
So those are great times, man. Just So.
And did you start off fighting in London? Or?
So I actually began when I was 16 in 2009. So what happened was I began training in Stratford at like this karate kickboxing school. Then I met some guys there used to be a Muay Thai gym in Stratford. So I like messaged some of those guys and like would train with them. But at that point the gym was shut down. So we'd go to like the YMCA or something and like I'd hit pads with them and like do like a bunch of clinch work and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then I began training in London in 2010. It would have been May 2010. And then from at that point, I was going like once a week, I would say, for like a year. Like I still wanted to do it. Like I loved doing it. Mm-hmm. I would actually say maybe for 2 years, I was going like once or twice a week. And then when I moved to London for like to go to Western, that's when I was like full time there. So
is London like a hub for fighting in
Ontario?
It
definitely used to be, for sure. Like we had at one point, it was a stacked gym. We had maybe like 10 pros, and they're all around, like more than 10 pros actually. They're all around my size at the time, which I used to fight at 155 pounds.
That's right.
And then we had guys in the UFC, like we had 5 guys in the UFC at one point.
That's crazy.
And like we had guys coming in from England and the States and all these different places to come train with us because we were like a really good team. And unfortunately, a lot of guys, they retired since then. Mm-hmm. And, that's kind of what happens with some gyms is, they start off like massive. These gyms are huge. Not to say it's anything bad right now. It's just there's not as many pros there. Yeah. Still an amazing gym. I train there all the time. My guys they corner me all the time. I still represent that gym. Mm-hmm. But it's just shifted to a different style. So
yeah, well, I remember like I trained a bit in Toronto, and it was just the gyms weren't what it was at Adrenaline. And I remember I went to a week session, like a week trial at Adrenaline. Yeah. And getting to the gym, you're like, holy fuck, like this is legit. Yeah. It was 2 levels.
Yeah. It was so there used to be, when I first began, it was the first gym was on Dundas in London, like right near Clark Road High School, like a little it was a gritty area, but it was a sick gym. It was an awesome facility. That was a gritty gym too. It was in like an old, like, I don't even know what you call it, like some sort of like industrial building. Mm-hmm. So like in the winters, it would be freezing cold. And you just don't want to warm up in there because you're just like, oh, I'm so cold. And then in the summers, it would just be ridiculously hot. It would just, there's just one extreme to the other. So
I feel like that builds character.
It does, man. It does. You don't want to train in the wintertime. And then you're like, oh, like it takes so long to warm up. And then in the summertime, you just get so drenched in sweat, you're gassed. It's
if you're comfortable, I feel like it's harder to overcome things as opposed to if you're uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You get that mindset.
Dude.
If you're in comfortable spots after that, you always kind of want that.
Exactly.
You can't deal with that, with the shittiness of what's reality.
Yeah, so I went to that Altia place to just check it out.
I've seen it. I've never been there, but I've seen it
it's
on
a great
Instagram.
facility. Yeah, but like I'm running on the treadmills and there's a fan blowing up on me like all around the treadmills. It's like I want to sweat. I don't want to fucking run on a treadmill and not get a sweat. The whole point of me running on a treadmill is sweating. Like, why are you having fans over your treadmills? What's the point of this? Yeah,
It looks so nice. It looks like an Equinox or
yeah, it's super nice.
I feel like I'd be distracted there. Like I've seen seen some people who go there. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
Are your workouts more for muscle growth or more for like lung getting in shape stuff?
Definitely endurance based. I do a lot of. Actually, up until recently, like I never weightlifted.
Really?
I never weightlifted. I do it now all the time, and I feel so much better. I feel really explosive. I have a lot of energy. It's I just feel really good when I weightlift. But like usually just like mixed martial arts based, so like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, boxing, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So and then obviously running too. Running's a huge part of training camp. So yeah.
You started off with like a striking background, right?
Yeah, I was kickboxing. Yeah, so I always knew I wanted to fight MMA, but I just love kickboxing.
Yeah.
I just love it. I've loved it ever since like I was a kid. Just love watching kickboxers. Oh, that's so cool that this guy could like dodge a punch and then knee the guy in the face. Like just so fascinating to me.
It's definitely the scariest one.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't know
It looks
where to
the
look.
coolest.
Yeah.
In my opinion, from like a fan's perspective,
Yeah.
like, I like watching strikers better than grapplers.
100%.
No, you don't want to see a guy just maul someone for like 15 minutes.
It's yeah.
It's cool how like there's like 4 different sports in one sport. You have to like figure out what other
man.
people do.
That's why it
It's a cool
takes
chess
so
match.
long to get good. It's
fun.
because like there's just so many different aspects to mixed martial arts. There's obviously the strength and conditioning portion. There's a mental side of it. There's the kickboxing. There's a boxing. There's a Muay Thai. There's a wrestling. There's a jiu-jitsu. There's a judo. It's just like there's 10 different sports in one.
Out of all
man.
those, is there one that's like notoriously the one that people mostly win with?
Wrestling for
Wrestling,
sure.
yeah.
100%. If you could just control a guy on the ground and just mitigate his striking and win by points just by holding the guy down, then like GSP. Like if you look at all the wrestlers, if you look at all the well, I don't know right now, but
There's a good
predominantly, if you're gonna look at the champions in each weight class, they're wrestling based. So
What's crazy with GSP is he came from a karate background.
Yeah.
Like he's not even a wrestler, and GSP is probably arguably one of the greatest MMA wrestlers.
for sure, which is crazy. He's and he's from Montreal too, and the way it goes is like the United States have an amazing wrestling program. They're really good wrestlers, and then you look at like the Russians and people in that little region, like Bulgaria and those regions, they're really good, and even Middle Easterns, like Iranians, are really good. So
Why is that? Just like body types? Or
no, it's just because it's like in some places it's their national sport. Like in Iran, it'd be like you're a hockey player if you're a wrestler type of thing. It's that equivalent. You know what I mean?
It's deeply rooted when they're kids.
Exactly. So yeah.
They start wrestling at the age of like 4.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The clip of Khabib wrestling the bear at like 8 years old.
I watched the Iowa State documentary wrestling.
Which one was that? I got to watch that.
It's like one of the 2 all-time GOAT coaches in wrestling. They're legends there apparently. So I just watched it. But
What was it, like an ESPN 30 for 30?
Yeah, one of those
Oh, I
things.
got to watch one of those.
It's good,
then.
man. Yeah, for sure.
I got to watch
I'll
that.
send it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, please send that. Please send
Are
it.
you a big like sports movie guy?
Oh, I love sports documentaries.
Yeah.
Like I watched Lance Armstrong 30 for 30 the other day. It was so good. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I love. Have you seen the one? The football player.
Oh, man, Titanic.
Yeah, that was insane.
Fuck.
That was insane.
If that ever like, honestly, when it first happened, like at the time, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how does this guy get catfished? But now seeing the actual documentary, you're like, holy shit.
I don't know, man. It's just
a little sketchy, bro.
It's a little crazy. It's crazy, yeah. I was my eyes were glued like for that 2 hours. Of just, I just thought it was so cool. Well, not cool, but it was good.
I was so pissed off at the girl, or like the guy who's the girl.
Whatever.
I was like, fuck, man. Like, this person's just a horrible person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I don't know. That was good. What other sports docs are you guys into right now?
Sports docs. I watch a lot of golf documentaries.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like YouTube. I'm a big golf guy.
Yeah.
Nicky's the fight guy. I'm the golf guy.
Yeah. So where do you golf?
I golf at Weston. In
Oh, nice.
Etobicoke,
In
yeah.
Etobicoke.
Nice.
Right from my house, I just fucking roll over there.
Teskey's, is it St. Andrews?
St. George.
St. George. Yeah.
Teskey's a sick golfer.
Yeah, he was.
He's sick.
He caddied
Yeah.
at the Canadian Open.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was like a good golfer. Then I told my buddy about, like, my buddies from back home that love golf. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, like my buddy's caddying at the Canadian Open. I didn't know like what it was. They're like, no way. They're like, what's his name? And then they looked him up. They're like, this guy's so good and stuff. They're like losing it at
He's really
Teskey.
good because he can hit the ball 350 yards every time,
Really?
which is a cheat code.
I
Really?
think Tesk won.
He won the.
He was.
championship.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's probably like 10 beers deep too. Like,
Even more impressive.
Plus tax.
Beer hole, winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
do you golf at all, or
I used to, man, but I'm just like.
so dialed?
Like the thing is, it's like I go like once a year maybe, but
Just with your buddies?
yeah, just like drink. Like I used to golf when I was a kid, but it's just, dude, it's like 4 hours. I don't know. I'm just not a big golf guy. It just like takes a big chunk out of your day. I'm like, I don't know. Like, yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
You can go to the range or just play 9, but it's like you don't get a full score. It's like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you're like in camp compared to just training year round, how much different is it?
It's much different. Like I'm much more focused. Like I don't do anything when I'm in training camp because even people are like, oh, like come out and hang out. It's just like I just want to just rest and be focused and train, right? Because you train twice a day, and then at that point you're just so tired and you're like, I need a rest. And if you don't rest, then you're just gonna feel like shit the next day. So it's just like I'd rather just rest right now.
Just keeps carrying over, right?
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to like training when I don't have a fight coming up, it's like, yeah, if I wanted to take a day off, it's not a big deal. I usually train like 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Like on Monday, I trained for 3 hours at night. And then Tuesday, I trained. Yesterday, I trained for like 3 hours. And then actually found out yesterday that I'm going to fight. So in December,
way.
which is really exciting.
Nice.
Where are you fighting?
Red Deer, Alberta.
Let's fucking
Gritty,
go.
eh?
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I saw you fought in Alberta before, though.
Man, I fought in Alberta like 10 times, maybe 8 times.
Yeah.
10, like I fought like Calgary a few times, Grand Prairie, Lethbridge a few times, Fort McMurray. Like some crazy grand.
What's
did I
drawing
say-
you back there?
What's
How
that?
come you keep going back there? Like
they
it?
just have events there all the time. It's like these random people, and they just want to have fighters there, and they have a decent amount of money from the oils or the whatever the oil industry.
Yeah.
It's big there. So you got guys with money that they're willing to put events on, and in these towns, it's like a thing to do because there's nothing to do in Red Deer, Alberta. There's nothing to
get
do in Fort
fucked up.
McMurray. Yeah, there's nothing to do in especially Grand Prairie. There's nothing to do.
Do they
Oh
find,
my god.
Do they find you, or do you have to like put your name into?
It's a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's a bit of both. But Grand Prairie, man, you fly from Edmonton. So flew to Edmonton, and it was a 4-hour drive from Edmonton to Grand Prairie. And in Grand Prairie, it's like there's literally nothing around it. There's nothing to do. Like it's a trap. I don't know how people live there.
Bro, I could just see the fights there, like the crowd just being so
Just
drunk
everyone's
and-
hammered. Yeah, everyone's.
UFC
Kinda
events in
good.
general.
Yeah. UFC events are good, man. Some of them, like I've been to UFC events where it's like the shitty sporting event, or I've been to ones where it's like, wow, this is like the best sporting event.
Yeah.
And then now recently the pay-per-views that they're having have been fucking unreal. They've been so spectacular. They're so exciting. The sport is growing exponentially. Like it's crazy how much it's growing, and I'm just fucking pumped to be in it at this point.
Can you sort of walk that people don't know? I don't really know either. Like the levels of fighting, where it's like
It's
AHL,
so hard.
NHL.
Yeah.
There's not
East
that
Coast
though.
Hockey
There's
League,
not
like
that.
levels like that.
No.
That's what
it's
I was
so,
thinking. I was like, what? Like,
I get asked that all the time. It's like, what's like? That's not how it works. Like
you-
it's so
yeah.
difficult.
would you put one championship in Bellator in like the same category?
Yeah,
as the
like
UFC?
okay, so from like there's the big four is what they're called. So like the
Okay.
UFC is obviously the biggest one, and then you got Bellator and ONE FC, which Bellator is an American-based promotion, which is like a lot of good guys in that organization, like incredible guys.
your buddies in there.
Yeah,
Aaron
Aaron Jeffrey. Yeah. And then there's ONE FC, which is like the Asian kind of like it's the big one in Asia. Like when I was in
Killers.
when I was in Thailand, like everyone was watching it in Thailand, because if you think about it, the events in the UFC at this point they're in North America. They're on North American time. So like to get up and watch a UFC event when you're in Thailand or something, or in these Asian countries, it's like Saturday or Sunday at like 6 a.m. Like who's watching that, right? Whereas the ONE FC, it's like going to be the same time zone, and people are always going to the bars watching those fights. Like those are the big ones there. So
were you in Thailand just like training, or?
Yeah, I went there to train for a fight. I think I'd fought, I don't know, I'd fought like 2 times in like the span of 4 months in Canada. Might have been like, it was like Lethbridge and somewhere else, Vancouver or something. And then I was supposed to fight again in Vancouver. And then I said, I don't want to be, in Canadian winter. I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
And that winter was horrible. So then I just went to Thailand for 2 weeks. I knew some guys at a gym there, and it was incredible. I had a lot of fun. So
what's the difference between training over there and training over here? Is it more of a cultural thing, more of like a...
I don't know, like just it's a hub there. So in Thailand, you got guys from like all over the world, like training with guys from like Australia, Germany, like Russia, just all these guys coming to train in Thailand, and just kind of get better and have a good experience. The training isn't really much different. It's just a big hub in that part of the world. So
they have Tiger Muay Thai is there, right?
Tiger Muay Thai.
That looks like a fucking crazy gym.
Yeah, at that. So it's where Tiger Muay Thai is located. It's in Phuket. That's where I was.
Nice.
I was training at Phuket Top Team, which is down the street. So it's like a Richmond Row or like a King Street in Toronto sense of like gyms and just like places to eat, and like Muay Thai gyms and like fitness gyms, CrossFit gyms, and like all these like super jacked people like all on one street. It's like a strip. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And like you're just walking down the street, like there's just so many people that are just like there to work out, like not even to really party or anything. It's like super cool.
You can party though in Thailand, right?
I did party there. Yeah. Of course. You think I wouldn't party in Thailand? You think I'd fly all the way there and not party?
This guy, you were at what's the full moon party?
No, I'm not one of those guys.
Bar guy.
Yeah, I'm a bar guy.
Yeah. No, Thailand looks sick. That's definitely like a bucket list.
Is that the coolest place you've gone to fight?
I think Johannesburg was up there, man.
You were just there.
Yeah, I was literally just there. It was a month ago.
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool, man. It was a crazy. I would never think I was gonna go to South Africa. It's just like such a random spot, right?
Yeah.
But then I ended up there somehow, and then just kind of made the most of it. It was super cool. It's like the food there was basically the same as food here.
Really?
It's like American cuisine. It was like the exact, like you could go to like Italian spots, like Greek spots, like it's just, they had like everything basically. Whereas if you go to Europe, the food is just completely contrasting to Canadian. So
Well, what was that like? Like what's a fight week like?
okay, so for
Especially
this trip,
being in South Africa.
for this trip, it was obviously a long travel day. It was like 24 hours or something like that. So you take that into account. So you want to leave early for that, and then you have to take into account that they're higher elevation, which means it's harder to perform and breathe, and you have to go there and basically acclimate to their conditions and that sort of stuff. So I think you're 1,700 feet above seawater in Johannesburg, which means there's less oxygen to breathe, which means it's harder to fight. So you want to go there and like kind of get used to that. So we went a week early, got used to that sort of stuff. The plane ride there sucks. You're just like, you fly there, you're with your coach, and you're just like, damn, I have to fight a guy. I'm so nervous right now. And like, there's just so much time to just soak in your thoughts. And you're just like, can't believe I'm doing this, man. I'm going all the way to South Africa just to get in a fight. Like, and everyone's watching me. And then if I lose, I'm going to be embarrassed. And you're just like, fuck. It just gets real at that point.
It's a mental battle, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Are you like, when you're about to fight, are you more like I'm prepared to die kind of mindset?
Yeah,
or more
100%.
Like I'm nervous, but I can do this. Yeah?
I'm just like, I have to die. So, yeah.
There's that clip of like Izzy in the fourth round where he's like, I'm prepared to die. And you're like, man, fighters are built different.
Do you decide that in the ring, or do you decide that
Motherfuckers are
before you
built
get into the ring?
different.
Before the
I'm
fight starts?
that the week of the fight and definitely the day of the fight, but then when you're kind of like in the locker room, it's just like, fuck.
I'm here.
You're just like, it's I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like when I first get in there, like when my walk-up music comes on, and then like, you know, I'm getting the Vaseline put on me, then I walk in there, and then like I'm in there, I'm actually in there. It's much different.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like more focused at that point. You don't really have any emotions. You're just kind of emotionless.
Yeah.
And you're just
The difference
super
between like
focused.
hockey and lacrosse, I feel like, would be in hockey and lacrosse, you can take a shift or two to like get over your nerves and like.
you
But if
can't-
you take a second off, it's like you're dead.
Yeah, you can't take a shift. It's the worst. Like, oh, I'm tired. Like, I'll just, you know, get off the ice for a little bit.
You do that, you're slept. Next thing you know, you like wake up.
And it's just so it's crazy because you want to keep your heart rate at a lower pace. Otherwise, if your heart rate's elevated, you're going to get much more tired, much more quickly. And so it's that point where you have to control your emotions, but you also have to be fired up because you're about to fight, and you have to be like, okay, what do I do here? I have to like lower my heart rate. I have to like
Breathe.
get fired up, just breathe. You know, it's just
be
a
very
lot
aware
of
of your
just a
feelings.
lot of angles coming at you.
That's
with-
experience too, right?
Yeah,
Like, I'm sure
exactly.
your first fight is like a bit of a shit show.
Yeah.
I'd probably go in just like fucking swinging.
Yeah, exactly. How much? That's what I was gonna ask you. How much of like your game plan? Like obviously, if he's a kickboxer, you're gonna try and do the opposite. But how much of your first couple moves are scripted? Where it's like I'm punching first, I'm punching second, I'm waiting, I'm attacking.
I would say like almost the whole thing, like the whole fight, like you want it because you just, what you do in training is what you do in a fight. Like if I'm pressing up, if I'm training a lot of what I like to call like stand-up grappling, which is like you're putting the guy up on the fence or the cage, or, you know, at the gym, you're kind of working those sort of things, those details. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the details you work in the gym is what you basically do in a fight.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
your last fight was kicking
Yeah.
part
So
of the game plan because you came out heavy kicks.
yeah, so I love kicking guys. It's a long range strike, and I've got really long legs, and I've got pretty decent kicks. And so when I'm feeling the guy out and just kind of moving and seeing what he's all about, and I just throw in a few kicks, and he's like, "Damn, that hurts. I don't want to do this anymore." and you know, you just kind of go in for it. So
you got him with a knee too, right?
yeah. So what happened was I was kicking him a few times, and I like to do a flying knee, and usually if it doesn't land, it at least closes the distance where like your opponent doesn't really know what you're doing, but you're in the mix to close the distance anyway. So you press him up against a fence, and then we kind of got in a tie clinch, and I knew he didn't know what he's doing. So then I leveraged him and kneed him in the liver.
You had a nice knee.
Yeah. Then as soon as I heard him go, like, because you could like hear shit like that when you fight, right? Like it's not like the TV where you're watching it and, you know, you can't really hear certain things or like see his eyes roll back in the back of his head when you knock him out.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. It's like you could feel this sort of stuff. So once I heard him kind of, you know, make that noise, and then I knew he was hurt, saying I'm just gonna pounce on this guy, he's done. So yeah.
How sick is it? Like, I'll never knock someone out, but how sick is the feeling where you're
It's a pretty decent feeling.
Yeah. I also want to know, like, what's it like just walking around being like, I can kick 99% of everyone's ass. Like,
I don't really, honestly, I'm a civilian. Like when it comes to this sort of shit, like I'm not going to the bar trying to like fight guys.
I know.
And you know, like,
Of course.
it's just like, I just feel like I'm a normal guy, but I just compete as a fighter, right? Like I don't look at myself in any spectacular sort of way. It's just, someone wants to fight me, then whatever.
God help them.
Is it a myth where you have to tell them, like, yo?
It's a myth, man. I get asked that all the time.
I figured it was a myth, yeah.
I think it's from Never Back Down or something, because everyone's like, "Are you allowed to street fight?" I'm like, "Are you allowed to street fight?" Like no one is. Like no one's allowed.
Yeah.
Someone throws a punch, Tommy's just gonna be like, "Hey, by the way, like,
By the way, man.
I know who I'm calling if ever.
Yeah.
it's gotta help though with like confidence, just not even like
100%,
the fighting aspect, but just the training aspect. Like,
Yeah.
was
Like
that's something over the years that's just
yeah, I think training. It's really the only thing that makes me happy. Like I love working out. I love training kickboxing. I love getting a good sweat. I love, training MMA and that sort of stuff. It's a fulfilling feeling. It's really nice to get a sweat on and, just be an athlete. And I think that's why I've just continued to do that because, ever since I was a kid, like I just always loved playing sports. And, I was that kid in the neighborhood getting all the kids together. Yo, let's play some road hockey. Let's do this. Let's ride our bikes. Let's go on, dirt jumps. Let's play basketball. It's just like every single day I was just that kid, gathering the guys and just let's fucking do something fun, So it's just kind of it's ingrained in me just to work out and play sports.
Would you say like nowadays training still is like something that helps like during tough times? I know, if you want to get into it,
I mean, like I like shooting the shit better, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like whatever, we could touch on it if you'd like, but
no, we'll fuck that. We'll just do. We'll stick with shooting the shit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
We'll keep it light.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you double down on what you're good at, or do you say, okay, I'm good at this, I'm gonna work on it a little bit? And work on the shit that I'm not good at?
I'm supposed to double down on the weaknesses, but I don't know. Like it's just I love to kickbox. It's just what I love to do, man. That's the whole reason why I got into it. I kickbox much more than I should be grappling. I should be grappling a lot more. Not to say I've got horrible grappling. I do love to grapple, but kickboxing is just my forte. So yeah,
that's how you're gonna win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like in golf. People always go to the range and hit drivers.
Oh man,
no one ever goes to the putting green. It's like
you just want to hit bombs when you go. Like, I don't pull out my gap wedge and just hit. I'm out there trying to hit like a 300-yard drive.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the same thing with
100%, man. It's like I go in there and let's just fucking kickbox. Let's just kickbox today. So yeah.
I'd say like I look at like some guys in the UFC and like similar mindsets is someone I don't know if you train with them or know him is Sean Strickland.
Yeah, I've trained with him. Yeah. He's a good guy.
What's he like? Because I see him from, like, on Instagram. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, man. He's a great guy, man. He's actually a super cool guy. Very he's like a guy that everyone looks up to at the gym because he just works so hard. He's super disciplined. He's very skilled. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Is he really?
Yeah, he never uses it.
No, he
just likes to stand and fight. It was crazy because his last fight in January, he'd fought in the summertime, but his fight in January, I was in Vegas.
He fought
trained with him. He fought, I forget who he fought, Jack Hermanson in January. But usually on fight week, like you just kind of like rest your body and like, you don't go hard in training. But this guy on Tuesdays and Thursdays is when the days we spar. This guy did 5-minute rounds of sparring on the Tuesday and he was fighting on the Saturday. It's just like an animal. Like he's the biggest animal I've probably ever met, to be honest with you.
This guy, I'll show you the clips after. I'll show you at the one press conference, the Izzy press conference. This guy's not even like the main event. He stole the show. Though.
Yeah.
He was talking with the line.
He's hilarious, man. He's so good.
Izzy had like the Frozen line or whatever. And
oh, yeah.
And Sean's just like, that's gay. Yeah. He's the funniest guy.
He's a good guy, man. Like I'd show up to the gym on a Monday and he'd just be like, I knocked out this heavyweight guy in California on the weekend. I'm like, why, man? Like, why would you do that? You guys were just sparring. Like, and he's just that guy, man. He just goes fucking hard. So
stay out of his way, right?
Yeah.
Who's like the toughest guy you ever fought? Like not toughest, but like the best.
Sparred with.
Probably Francis Ngannou for sure. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
That's for sure. Got to be the toughest.
Sparred with Francis.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah,
how did he beat me up? Like what am I supposed to say? Oh, I beat him. I got the shit beat out of me, but like,
is it just the power or?
No, he's just like scary.
How did that? Like, what gym were you at?
Extreme Couture, the one in Vegas? that I train at when I'm down there. So they just have a list of like amazing guys, and like Thailand's a hub in Asia. Vegas is the hub of the planet. So you could just imagine all the guys that just roll through there. Like a bunch of guys that are rolling through there and you're training with them and, they're all these UFC superstars and you're just shooting the shit, training with them and you're having a good time. So it's fun.
How did you get paired up with Francis?
He asked me. I was looking big at the time. I was wearing like, I I was wearing like a cutoff shirt, I don't wife beater, one of those, and I was like 215 pounds, and he had a fight soon. Just looked at me and was like, "You want to go round 3?" I'm like, "No." So then that's how it basically happened. But
hey man, if you can fight Francis, you can literally fight.
I know he was on top of me. I'm like, this is the worst it's gonna get ever. So
dude, if that guy's fist was coming at me, I would be so scared. So scared. It's just like
so how do you go from 158 or whatever you said before 155 to 218?
So
as a guy who's trying to gain weight right now.
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
When I was younger, so I began fighting when I was like or training when I was 16. And at that point, I was like 160 soaking wet, and I was like 6'2". It was like, it was ridiculous. Like it was like one of those like high school bodies that just hasn't grown in. So at that point, I'm thinking I'm going to fight at 145 pounds. Then I don't fight. So when I've actually first thought seriously was considering taking a fight was when I was 19, and at that point I was 160 and 6'2", and that sort of stuff. So at that point, I thought I was going to fight at 145, but it took me like a year to like find a fight. Like my coaches and that sort of stuff, they wanted to like make me more of an MMA fighter as opposed to just a kickboxer. I remember when I told them I want to fight MMA, they're like, okay, and they just go like in sparring, just take me down and just beat the shit out of me. Like, you want to do this still? I'm like, yep. You want to do this? Yep. And because it's different, man. They're just like, they don't want you representing their gym if you're not ready, right?
Yeah,
this Chris Hordesky just beat the shit out of me. But anyways, so then it took me like a year to like finally get MMA ready. At that point, I was like 170 pounds, 175 pounds maybe. And then I gradually would just get up to like 195 pounds. And then my last fight at 155 was in 2018. And then I said, fuck that, never again. Because I was walking around at 195, 200 pounds.
How the fuck was the weight cut? Yeah.
Like it was like, it's not even, I don't even know how to put it into words. Yeah. It's like miserable. Like I would go to bed starving every single night, starving. And I thought it was normal. I'm like, oh, like this is what MMA fighters do. Yeah. It's not normal. Like
40 pounds is insane.
Yeah.
And then like the saunas, hot suits.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's just like you're just slowly slowly dying. That's just the best way to put it. So
you see the clips of like just me personally watching like Tough. You see clips of them dragging guys.
Yeah,
I think it was like Tough 1. They're dragging the one guy out.
Tough Tough was that was my favorite show, man. That's how I got into fighting. Is from Tough, man.
Those first ones were sick. I don't think you could have got a better start to Tough than the Stephan Bonner.
Chris Lieben.
Yeah,
Chris Lieben was
nuts.
So you watch those?
Oh man,
that's so good.
I've been watching UFC since I was probably like 12 because my uncle trained jiu-jitsu. And they were like big GSP fans growing up, and I got into it. But I remember,
you know what gym he was at?
He was in London actually. I know.
Really?
Yeah, my family's
at
from
Adrenaline.
London. I don't think so. I think he was just a strictly jiu-jitsu gym.
Maybe Gracie Ball.
I think it was Gracie because Gracie came in and gave a seminar.
Yeah.
And my uncle was late to the seminar. And like, my uncle's like 220, 225, like big guy.
Yeah.
And he said when he walked in, Gracie like picked him out of the crowd and pulled him in for like a demonstration.
That's funny.
And he said he's never felt so like helpless in his life.
Yeah.
And Gracie's like $160, like just fucking choking the shit out of him. But
no, jiu-jitsu's a tough sport.
Yeah.
But no, like I compete at 170, but my last few fights have been 185, and my next one's 185. And in February I was like 225. It was like ridiculous.
It's really like a point of no return where if you do get to a certain weight, you can't get down to a certain weight.
I thought so, yeah, but I thought like I was 225 and I was like, oh, like I feel great. I didn't feel great. I just was like trying to like tell myself I felt great. I felt awful. Then like some of my training partners like, dude, you got to move back down to 170. I'm like, no, fuck that.
That's a big one.
Then I'm like, and then I'm just like, you know what? Like probably should after training with some guys, like these guys that are fighting at like 185 and 205 at the highest levels are just they're massive. Like they're just huge. And at that point, I'm just so fat. I thought I was in good shape, but I wasn't. So then I fought at 185 in April for a title fight. And then at that point, I'd gotten down to like 205 probably. So I cut from like 205 to 185, which was a shitty weight cut. Then I found out about my fight in South Africa in May, and it was in August. So I'm like, okay, well, you have to train for a fight. If you know you're fighting, you have to train. So usually training camps are like 8 weeks, but this one was like, man, 12 weeks, I would say. Fuck. So I was able to get my weight super low at that point, and by the time I got on the flight to South Africa, I was roughly like 190 pounds. So I didn't really do any water cutting and that sort of stuff. Yeah. And then now I'm just, okay, I'm going to stay around that weight, around 190, and my next fight's 185, and then going to move back down to 170 after this fight. So
it's just easier to stay around 180, 190, 195.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You don't do the patty, the baddie.
Oh my God. Dude, that's what I would do that though. Yeah. And it's just miserable. You don't want to put yourself through that. You're just torturing yourself.
This guy, he fights at 155.
Yeah.
And he's
like he balloons up. He's like 205 or something.
Like fat.
Like fat.
You see the photo of his face?
Yeah. But you know why that happens though? It's because you're so deprived of food that, like, I've been there. Like I know exactly what he goes through. Like you're so deprived of food that when you get the chance of like, you don't have to go on a diet, you're just like, I'm eating everything, because all you would do is dream about food. Like I've been there, man. Like I know what he goes through, and like I'm like, I feel like it's just like.
So you're saying the key to gaining weight is just to eat a fuck ton of food?
Yeah, basically.
Dude, we're the opposite. He's trying to gain weight, and I'm not trying to lose weight, but I'm not trying to like I'm trying to get.
You're trying to lose weight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more athletic.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. And so
that's a nice way of saying I'm a bit heavy right now.
Yeah. Yesterday he's like, fuck, like we were chilling at his, and like I just sashed, and he's just like, man, like I have to eat another meal. Like fuck this.
It's like 11:30. I'm like,
and I'm like, fuck, I want to eat another meal. Like I had like a Fudgio, and I was like, I want to go home and just.
You know what you need to get on is the meal replacements. So you have like 4 scoops of that a day. You're gaining so much weight.
Like protein powder kind of stuff? Or?
It's meal replacement. So like it has all these nutrients and all these calories in a powder form. So instead of like drinking a protein shake, which protein shakes for me, like the one I go with is Almax. It's like an Isoflex. That's got roughly like 27 grams of protein every scoop. And so like I just have like I put water in it, probably have like 2 scoops, put that in my fridge, and just all day I'm just kind of in and out, just sipping on it. But if you did that with this meal replacement stuff, you're going to be gaining weight like a shit ton very easily, because it's like 1,500 calories maybe for like insane. 1,500 calories in 4 scoops. I don't know the exact number, but
it's a lot.
You're just adding 1,500 calories a day to your meals, I guess. So
I remember I used to take the mutant mass shit, and it was the exact, it was like the same stuff, but my stomach would just be fucked.
Oh yeah, you're rinsed. Your stomach is rinsed.
Oh my God, dude.
I can deal with that. I'm gaining weight.
Yeah, I would say the best way 100% is to get on that meal replacement stuff. Yeah. It's got like creatine in it and stuff. Like it's got everything.
When you're trying to lose weight, do you do less cardio? Or sorry, more cardio?
Yeah, more. Well, I just do cardio in general because you need to do it. Like, like you would want to, like hypothetically, yes, you do want to do more conditioning, but weights also helps. Weights help really well with losing weight. So if you combine weight training and endurance training, you're going to be losing weight like a crazy amount. So
when you're trying to gain weight, do you do less reps, heavier weights?
I'm never trying to gain weight. Basically, I'm trying to lose weight all the time.
You gain your weight with food.
Okay. Like post fight, what's the thing you're looking forward to the most after going
out with my buddies? Like 100%. Like going out and having a good night with my friends. That's what I miss the most, because I don't get to do that when I'm in training camp, and feels like I'm always in training camp now. So then after my fight, I just try to get in like as many nights as I can possible without exceeding the limit, because I do still want to be in good shape, right? Like I was gonna ask you guys this: are you guys Friday guys or Saturday guys? Because for me, I've started to become. I used to be a Saturday guy, now I'm a Friday guy because you got the Saturday to rest and not do anything.
Yeah.
And then Sunday you're still recovering. And then by Monday you're like, oh, I'm good for work and I'm good to tackle my week. So
Good question.
That's I used to be a Saturday all the time. I'd be like, Friday didn't discriminate against.
Yeah, I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate against Saturdays.
Well, both days for like 10 years.
Yeah. Like if something's happening, but now I have the same mindset where I'm like, Saturday I'm a fucking puddle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday I still like I'm feeling better. Then Monday I'm good to go.
But you know what too though is for me, like obviously for you too, I love watching UFC. And if I'm going out on a Saturday night, like there's no way I'm watching UFC.
No.
So it's nice to have that as when you're hungover. I order like Burger Priest and make like a night of it. I'm just like watching UFC, watching the fights, eating Burger Priest, like having a good time. You know?
So good. I woke up last Sunday, like we went out on the Friday last week, or we did something on the Friday.
At Parlor, was it?
No.
Oh,
That was I saw you. I've seen Tommy a few times recently.
Yeah.
King Street.
Yeah. What's your favorite spot?
Oh man, locals only and laissez-faire for sure.
Yeah.
What would you guys say?
I'd say I
like Parlor actually now.
I like Parlor.
I love Parlor actually.
Yeah.
I do them all. Like on Friday night, I went to, this is my list, randomly went to the Keg. Like I've never been like my buddy's like, yo, meet me at the Keg. I'm like, what? Like on King Street? And so I'm like, okay, meet him there. Then we go to Myth, which is unreal. I love Myth. And then we go to Escobar, and then we go to locals, and then you're always mixing up locals and laissez-faire.
You're going
and then I
down.
went to Ruby's. Just like, it's always just a trifecta. Like that corner is just,
I feel like if I end up at Ruby, I'm going to locals, and vice versa. Like if I'm anywhere in that area,
vicinity,
I'm going to both.
Yeah.
An early 4 a.m.
The
one that you were with Burno and those boys. We saw you at Ruby.
Yeah.
And then locals after.
Yeah.
And
you got to do it.
Maybe you're at Parlor after that. Like, it's just that whole, like, that strip is just so fun.
And then there's just a bunch of people there, and
it's like every time you go out, you're going to see
a bunch of people.
Yeah,
it's fun.
The early 4 a.m. thing.
Oh, fuck.
Early at 4 a.m.
I gotta stop.
I've done that. I've done that a few times. That gets, you know what? That's
it gets dark.
It gets dark.
It gets dark.
I think the last few times I got asked to go, I go, no.
Me too. I'm
not
on
happening.
no train.
He did that, and my drunk ass was like, "Yeah, I'll be there." Like next thing I know, I'm like, "Why the fuck am I here?"
It's just like anxiety central, and
Your eyes are
like, no
closed.
offense, like it's you're walking around, you're like, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Like I'm not talking to.
I'm glad that you guys feel the same way. I thought that was just me that felt that. I didn't know that it was like a thing. So
no, like
when just asked too.
But when I'm at Parlor, I'm like there's some hot girls at Parlor. Like you're going around, people there, and I'm like, fuck this.
It's a better time, man.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It feels good. They have those bubble guns or whatever the fuck they are.
Have you ever been to one of those on like Parlor or laissez-faire on a Sunday?
No, but
they do those brunches.
Awesome,
those look a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
We don't do brunch a lot, actually.
No.
That's because Sunday I'm
like it's so fun to like do that sort of stuff, but you just have to pay for it now. It's like back in the day, it's like I'll do that and then just nothing happens. But then if you do that on a Sunday now, it's like, damn, like work is gonna suck.
Yeah.
This week is gonna suck. My week's gonna be a write-off. It's just like not even worth it anymore.
I just spent another $100 from the night before.
No.
200, 300, 400. Like
there's some nights I wake up or some mornings I wake up. I'm like, one, I know today is just gonna be an absolute joke. And then two, I look at my bank statement.
I just don't do it anymore. I just deal with it on Monday or something. I'm already feel like shit. I'm like, what am I looking at here on Monday?
During the summer, I went like, I would go a while. I'd just have anxiety where I was like, you know what? If I don't look at it, like,
I'm gonna feel a lot better about
fuck
myself.
it.
But then some days you're like, wow, that's not even that bad.
Yeah.
And
then you're
I only spent $400. I thought I spent like 600.
And then you're just like, thank God, like, good job, man. Like, now I can order an Uber Eats.
Yeah. I had to. Now that you just said that, I had to delete Uber Eats, man. Like it just gets. It got out of hand. Like I had to delete it.
I never got it.
Go to
you never.
Best move ever made.
It's the best.
What is
never,
it?
Never got it.
Really?
What do you mean you never got it?
Never got Uber Eats.
What? Are you serious?
I never.
You've
got it.
never.
You've never Uber Eats.
Never.
You're actually a psychopath, I think, man.
I've
locked this guy up.
I've never done it.
I've had days in London where like I've Uber Eats marble slap, like tubs of ice cream, man.
I would Uber Eats every single day.
Yeah.
Like I did and I just said I can't do this anymore. All my money's going towards delivery fees. And it's just like, I can't be doing that. So I deleted it. It's been like 4 or 5 days. It's felt good, man. Like, I might be a billionaire now. I don't know.
True,
I feel like a billionaire now.
Yeah.
$20 a day for a whole year.
I would go like double, trip, like I would spend $100 like on days. Cause it's just like, it's so accessible. It tastes so good.
Oh.
I don't know. It's just like an adrenaline rush getting one of those things just delivered to you.
Not Uber Eats, but have you tried Apache?
Of course, man. I live literally right across the street. It's
so fucking
incredible.
And then we went there every single Friday or
Saturday
for probably
in high school.
Every single one.
Because it'd be open till 3 and we'd go.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is.
We'd Subway to Kipling.
Growing up there, you'd be in the area, you'd be at like a house party.
Yeah.
You'd go with a group like fucked up. And we got to know the workers to the point where everyone would be out of Apache and they'd spark a blunt up.
No way.
Yeah. The one guy would spark a blunt up behind the counter cooking our burgers and pass it
way.
to us. And
That's so good.
I was like, fuck, man, I love this place. Like,
Okay,
We're getting Apache closed down today.
Do you know, okay, this is the grittiest spot. I go there so before I take an Uber downtown, I go to the spot, 6 Points Plaza, the Canadiana. You heard of that spot?
No,
it's like tucked in like this plaza, and I had no idea it was even like it's like
6 Points is just.
It's like, okay, so it's in between the BMO and the Shoppers.
Oh yeah.
It's literally right in between that, and there's an M&M Meats right beside it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know that this place even existed until like a year and a half of me living there.
What is it?
It's just like a little pub where like it's just a hole in the wall, and it's just like
I've been there.
This
It's 1992.
Yeah, it's like it's unbelievable. Every time I go before I call an Uber downtown, is I go there, have like 4 double vodka sodas, and just Uber downtown.
Oh man,
they have good breakfast there. Actually, it's a little.
I don't know. I've never eat there.
just crush drinks there.
Drink guy.
Actually, no, I do actually eat sometimes. They're the beef dip. The beef dip's pretty good. Nice. So,
what were your spots in London? Like post bar
to eat?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Caesars.
Huge was like Aladdin shawarma. Like the first few burrito boys, like just the usuals. The craziest one that I loved so much was smoked poutine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, after Jack's, that tasted so good.
The one thing I'll say about Richmond Row is they had some good drunk food.
They have amazing.
They'd have the
food.
Little C's, the burrito boys, Burger, obviously.
Yeah, Burger's really good. That's a really good spot.
I remember after one Wine Wednesday, I woke up like fully clothed and I had a burger in my back pocket. And I was like, what the fuck did I do last night?
Breakfast.
Man? Like,
Did you ever have kokomi sushi?
Yeah.
Kokomi is really good, man.
Yeah.
I love that spot.
That's the first time I ever had sushi was Kokomi post bar.
Yeah, like I'm from. That's actually crazy that you say that because I'm from Stratford, like small town. There's not like there's really good restaurants here. It's like the culinary. I don't know, some sort of culinary school, but the variety, like there's not really like good sushi spots. There's not like burritos. There wasn't any shawarmas back in the day. There are now, but. When I first went to London, that's when I had like a burrito my first time. When I had sushi and shawarma and that sort of stuff. So
I never had shawarma until first year. Like same.
Shawarma's fire.
You got any cool Justin Bieber stories?
Yeah. Did you know the Biebs?
He's a cool guy. Like I don't know. Yeah. Not real, like we played on the same hockey team together. We we had like rap battles on the because we would take a bus to hockey.
Yeah.
We'd have rap battles on the bus together and stuff. We'd hang out at like the junior B hockey games. Because like going to like the junior B games was like a big thing back because there's nothing going on, and when you're a kid like you'd meet like girls at the game, like and then like movies too. Like we go like at that point we're like grade 7 to like 9. You'd go there, like grade 6 maybe even. Yeah. And then like so just kind of see him hanging around. So
I figured you might know some of them.
Yeah.
Well, he's like around your age, right? He's
a 94, I'm a 93. So he'd get called up to my teams. Yeah, and he was so good at like anything he did.
Yeah,
he's like pick up a basketball. rinse anyone in basketball. Play hockey. He was like super small. He was unreal still. He was good everywhere, man. Like he's everything he did. He's just fucking
not fucking fair, man. Like some people.
Yeah, like literally everything. That guy could do anything he wants. Like it's crazy.
I see him skateboarding. I'm like,
everything.
He's
probably
I've even
good at
seen
that.
him playing hockey, and he's doing like picking the puck up. I'm like, this guy's a fucking one of the best musicians in the world. And he still has time to go dangle people.
Yeah, he's fucking good at anything he does. So.
Yeah, he's my celebrity. I like that dude a lot.
He's a goat, man. He's so sick.
Yeah.
I love his company too, Drew House.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
I love that.
They're awesome.
Apparel's cool.
Yeah.
How far is his house in Stratford?
Anywhere in Stratford, it's not far. It's like 10-minute drive. Like so, he lived near the mall, like with his grandparents, and I lived near my high school. On that side of town.
One high school in town.
Yeah, well, there's 3 high schools. I think there might even only be 2 now. But yeah, so small town, you know everyone. So
who's one guy? Like going back to fighting, who's your favorite fighter?
Yeah, and Michael Bisping.
Bisping?
Yeah, Bisping. Anderson Silva was like Anderson Silva, Bisping, BJ. Like there's just like. The list of guys, my favorite fighters are just the guys who I started watching UFC. Like it'd be like Bisping, Rampage, BJ Penn, like all those guys. I love Shogun. I saw he's fighting soon, and I geeked out so hard. I'm like, oh my god, Shogun's fighting. I met him in the locker room at the UFC Performance Institute when I was there last, and I was like starstruck. I'm like, dude, you're actually the man. I was like, probably sounded so ridiculous, but I'm like. I can't ask for a pick with the guy when he's getting unchanged in the dressing room too. So it's bad timing, but I was just like those guys when I used to watch back in the day. Those are the guys that I get starstruck on, and like I'll even be like in bed or something and just throw on like the old toughs that I used to watch, even like the old countdown shows that they used to do like to promote the fights. Like those fired me up.
Yeah,
so
I remember one year I bought a subscription to Fight Pass. Yeah. And I would just watch all the toughs. Yeah. The Rampage versus Rashad.
Oh, yeah.
Where Rampage, have you ever seen the clip? I've never seen anyone fuck up a door.
Yeah.
He just comes in and he just smashes
That was a good season. My favorite season was, I would say, Tough 8 with Junie Browning. I don't know if you remember him. That guy was hilarious, man. Yeah. Those idiots make the show like fucking amazing. Like those guys are like, I don't know, they're these... Basically, like in the earlier days, they would just have characters on these shows. Yeah. Like every season had like some idiot on the show that was just like caused so much shit, and that's why it was so fun to watch.
Julian Lane,
who's adding? Oh yeah,
let me bang, bro.
Yeah.
Let me bang.
How much of fighting now is like if you're a good promoter, if you're like you have a lot of fans, you have a lot of stage presence, how much of that
entertainment.
It's all entertainment, and if you were to like. Okay, say there's a guy that's 10-0 from, I don't know, 2 guys from, oh my God, sorry. 2 guys that are 10-0, same place or from, same fighting style, exact same everything about them. The guy with, the more Instagram followers that's well-known, they're going to choose him over the other guy who's not as well-known, 100%.
It's just
eyes. It's just that's the way life works.
Yeah.
It's not just fighting, it's like everything, right? And MMA is what people don't understand. It's a business, right? And the more eyes that you have on you, the more people you have on you, the more money you're going to make, the more success you're going to achieve, right? Like, you have to be a really good fighter. That's a main priority. But it helps to have, people that want to watch you fight. Because if people don't want to watch you fight, what's the point of fighting, right?
Would they ever pick not as good fighters as the other guy over... Like with more followers?
I don't see. There's just so many variables when it comes to that sort of stuff. So like depending, there's just so many variables.
Do a lot of guys change their actual personality to fit that role?
Colby Covington, Colby Covington did. I don't know. Like some people, like Sean Strickland, like he's the exact same person you'd meet on camera, and then some guys aren't, right? So it just all depends on who you are and how you want to approach things, and that sort of stuff. So
I think Connor changed that
100%.
the whole game. Like That guy came in. I've never seen anything in sports.
I think he's done, man. Like I don't.
fuck,
It
dude.
sucks. I love him so much though. Like I used to not like him because he was so mainstream, but then now it's like he just brings so much excitement to the sport. It's like how can you not like when he's fighting? Everyone is tuning in. Like everyone. Yep. You know, even your grandparents are watching, right? Like it's just everyone. So
I see his like clips on Instagram of him sparring, or I don't even know if it's recent, but I'm just like, how the fuck can this guy come back? Like,
he's fucking big right now.
Yeah, he's huge. I don't know, like who knows though? Like to be honest with you, I don't know if he's, you know, I don't know if I don't know. Like I just think like man, this guy's so rich. What's the point of like coming back and fighting? Like I don't understand it. Like he already's won. He's already done so many incredible things, and that he's at that age where like he's got a family, he's got kids, he's got all the money in the world, he's got so many things going on. And when he was trying to get to that level, his persona was just so much different. Like he was just so like he was so hyper focused. And right now, I just don't see him having that hyper focus. And like when you don't have that focus, is you just you're not going to go places, right?
It's dangerous too.
Yeah. If he comes back and actually like has a comeback, it's fucking insane. Because the guy's training, like I don't know if you've seen it. He's like on his fucking Lamborghini yacht.
Yeah, it's
training.
Yeah.
It's like how do you go from like again the gritty environment of like SPG coming up to now where he's at?
Like you're on a yacht, man.
Fuck, how like you're just training because you love it and not training to fight. Like
no purpose behind it. We're just training to train.
But I hope he does because his fights. I remember going down like that stretch where it was like
it was McGregor.
Yeah, where it was like the Mendez, Aldo, the Diaz fights were fucking unbelievable.
Unbelievable, man.
We would go down to like the Boston Pizza on Front
I would
Street.
I'm a BP guy too. And just Stratford, shout out to Boston Pizza Stratford.
It's fucking amazing. You'd go to the Boston Pizza and
Boston Pizza's unreal.
Packed with fight fans. And I remember like Diaz too. I got so blackout that like I remember the fight, but I don't remember what I did after. But I had the Irish flag with me, just like
that's why I honestly don't like drinking watching the fights because like I don't remember what happens. Or like I'd rather be sober than because you're just like I don't know, I just feel like I enjoy it more. But like I don't know.
I want to go to an event. I was saying to these guys like the next UFC in Toronto.
I feel like they got to be coming soon, man.
It's been a while. Last one was
2019.
Where Holloway pieced up Ortega.
Come to one of your fights.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah.
Would you ever fight in Ontario or?
Yeah, it's just never happened. So
you'd have a crowd.
Yeah, I would.
You'd have a crowd.
Yeah, I would have a massive crowd, but the right opportunity just hasn't arisen, and like I'm not gonna try and force it. And if it happens, it happens. But I love traveling to fight. Like my two favorite things on the planet are traveling and fighting and training. Right, that sort of stuff. And if I could just see places, fight, train, it's the way I want to live my life.
Yeah. How cool is it? Like do you take a step back sometimes and you're like, holy fuck, like fighting's allowed me to go to these certain places like South Africa or
sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta, I think I'm just still in it, like in that phase of like being focused. I think after when I'm done fighting, that's when I'm going to be able to look back and go, well, damn, I fought in like all these places, been all these places, met all these people. But right for now, it's just, staying focused and, just enjoying it basically.
Where would be your like favorite, your dream spot to go fight or dream spot to go like a camp? Like,
my dream spot for camp, oh my God, sorry.
You're good, dude.
My dream spot for camp would be probably Miami, Florida, Fort Lauderdale. That'd be sick.
Yeah. There's some hubs down there.
Yeah, they've got amazing facilities and amazing guys. Like Florida's got incredible MMA. Oh my God, MMA fighters. And so I would love to do a training camp there. Like I've said I'm gonna do it. I said I'm gonna do it, but I just haven't yet. And then I would love to fight in Vegas. That would be like the coolest thing of all time. I would love to fight in London, England. I think that would be super cool. I've got like all these different places in my head that I want to, like these certain things I want to do before I'm done fighting, like fight in Europe, fight, in this organization, fight in Brazil, go to Brazil to train, do all these certain things. I'm like, there's just so many things I want to do. that are in my head that I want to accomplish in the sport. So.
Cool.
That'd be sick. Brazil would be.
Yeah.
I want to see Colby in Brazil.
Yeah, that would be fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Why is Brazil such a hub?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is derived from obviously Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So you got a lot of fighters from there, and they produce a lot of spectacular fighters.
Cool. I saw Canada's on the come up, man.
We have a lot of good guys, but like there's good guys everywhere. It's crazy how much the sport has evolved. It's just everywhere you go, you're gonna find someone that's like really fucking good. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one thing I've realized, like in my very limited like training experience, is never fucking underestimate anyone. Like, I remember going in my first like jiu-jitsu class. I was like rolling with like an 125-pound person. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking
person or woman.
Woman. And I was like, oh fuck, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm gonna like go light on her. Next thing I know, I'm being tapped out like 3 times in 2 minutes. I was like, what the fuck just happened, man? Like,
just armbarring the shit out of you,
dude. It's nuts.
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts. I was like, I couldn't do anything. I just felt like I was useless.
Oh my god,
But
no.
Even that, and then like
I don't even look like a fighter. I don't think.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
just you're a
the
big
kicks
guy.
you do for sure.
Yeah,
you're a big guy though.
I guess,
if I saw you on the street, I wouldn't be like. Okay,
but when you, I feel like when you think of fighter, you're like bald guy with a lot of tats, you know, or something like that. I don't know. Like I don't look like a bald guy with a lot of tats.
No,
you know?
I feel like
true. You don't look like a fighter when you're just chilling.
Dude, earlier in like the UFC days, you had to have fucking horrible tattoos.
Yeah,
like Keith Jardine would be like the prime example of like a fighter. Or someone with like
I would say Keith Jardine, Chuck Liddell, Chuck Liddell, just like a fucked up haircut or no hair and shitty tats,
and a bunch of scars all over your head.
Exactly.
Cauliflower ear. As soon as I see cauliflower,
I've got a little bit on this one.
Yeah,
like,
you're not fucking with that person.
No.
What is cauliflower? Is it just buildup?
It's like buildup of fluid in your ear. It's like basically what happens is it's hard to explain. So it's a hematoma. What a hematoma is like a buildup of fluid, but it's in your ear. And if you don't drain it, then it just kind of stays like that.
Yeah.
So as soon as it happens, it's like you could squeeze it and like it hurts to like touch. But then when you drain it out, it goes back down to its regular normal size. But if you don't drain it out, it'll stay there. And I didn't drain mine out because I didn't think it was that bad. And I kind of wanted it, so
it's like a bad.
So yeah.
You see like the Russian guys with like the fucking beards.
They got like cauliflower face, man. It's like it's crazy.
So like, let's say like someone gets their ass beat, right, and their face is just mangled. Like you can't they don't go to the bars after, right? If they won, or they do.
Why wouldn't they?
You can't even see. Like both your eyes are closed.
You're in, man. Like you're going in.
Dude, after those, like,
that's the first thing I'm doing after is getting a beer.
Out.
Like
you think about the shit they've been through the last like 12 weeks. Yeah. I'd be the exact same. Did
you watch Bisping get knocked out by Henderson?
Yeah.
He went to the bar after that.
Dude,
I read his book and he said he went out and drank after that.
That's why I love Bisping though too.
Yeah, he's
Bisping
so cool.
He seems like you could just crush.
I know.
With
That's
him
why
and
I love
this
him.
guy would be sick.
Yeah.
Fuck.
This
a grind, man.
was fucked, man.
Yeah.
And the punch.
Yeah,
after,
like I thought this guy died. Like I was watching it live. This is the first time I actually was like, dude, this guy might be dead. He got hit so hard, like overhand right. He's knocked out in the air, like he's done. Like because usually like sometimes like guys will like fall on one knee and then like, you know, it's a little bit of a graceful fall. But this guy gets knocked out. His head smacks the ground, like just smacks, and it bounces off. Like it doesn't just like hit and fall. It's like he smacks it, it bounces off. Then Dan Henderson jumps in the air, puts all of his weight onto this guy. I think he hit like he landed on his forearm maybe, and just goes, and like the guy's already dead. And it's like, wow,
is
that
there
was
no?
insane.
I know it's
you just killed.
I know it's a brutal sport or whatever. Like, is there no etiquette on that? Like, if you know the guy's out.
I don't know, man. I'm just if the I just.
If the whistle's blown.
Like yeah, exactly. I just got to get pulled off. That's just me.
Yeah, man, it's fucked. Like that was probably one of the most vicious knockouts I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like if you're him though, are you not mad at the, you're not mad? It's part of the game.
No, you're not mad at the guy. You're not like fuck. Well, actually, you know what? In that instance, probably like yeah.
That was
like,
a
okay.
fuck you
If you're talking about like while the guy's done, like some guys are like, okay, like he's done, like I'm not hitting him anymore, which is very respectable.
I've seen that guys do that.
You know what I mean? Like guys, and you're like, oh, that's really nice of you to not hit me after I'm knocked out. You know, which sounds weird, but yeah. So yes, I mean, I would have been pissed if I was Bisping for sure.
Yeah, especially if Bisping was talking shit leading up.
It's like, what are you gonna do? Fight him? It's like
there's nothing you can do. It's like the Masvidal Colby thing.
Yeah,
it's just like I love Masvidal. But
well, Masvidal did that to Ben Askren when he knocked him out with a flying knee, and then Ben Askren was like done. Like he was like he stiffened, like he was done, and then Masvidal just started hammering him on the ground.
And then he's on the ground, like going like
being
like, and they ask him, like, were those shots necessary? He's like, super necessary.
That is wild, bro.
Like a dog.
He's a G.
But,
no fucks given, huh?
We gotta wrap things up here.
Fuck, I had fun shooting the shit with you guys.
I have one more, two quick questions for you. Moving forward, just in your career, like what's the end goal? Like,
I just take it one fight at a time, and you can never really, you know, fully plan out for your future in this specific sport, just because you never know. You know, injuries happen. Shit happens, right? Like shit happens. I want to fight till I'm like, I don't know, like be sick to fight till I'm like 38 or something, depending where I go. But like I just want to keep doing it. So
yeah. And then what's something you're looking forward to, or like what's a good time ahead for you?
My next fight, December 3rd, that's gonna be a great time.
Let's fucking go.
Afterwards, the holidays are gonna be even better time. So enjoy the holidays a bit after that, and then next year's even gonna be even better. So I've got a lot of good fucking shit to look forward to right now. So
nice. Thank you for coming on, Tommy, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
We'll have to come up for a sparring match.
Maybe not a spar.
At Parlors?
You can just take that Parlor,
Mid-bar, you and me versus Tommy. We're on our way over, and Tanner goes, fuck, I think this is the first guy where like you and I would get our ass kicked at the same time.
Yeah.
But me with somebody, like it'd be like, you can help me out and he would win.
I know Bernie was on the show. He wouldn't kick your guys' asses, would he? I don't know. Bernie's a tough guy. Bernie's a tough guy.
At the same time.
The video on the lacrosse one when he's like,
Bernie has
he's the best guy of all time, man. That guy's the best guy ever.
Berno's a beauty.
He's a fucking, he's a
you
great
meet
guy.
him and he's such a sweetheart. And
I know.
Then you see him in lacrosse. Yeah. Like, you know what? I respect you more too.
And he's a teacher too.
Yeah.
Which is sick. Yeah.
Teaching class with the black guy the next day.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Beauty. But I'm sure we'll see you at Parlor or somewhere soon.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you. And remember, good times ahead.
Good times ahead, yes.
Fuck yeah.
Good job, bro.
Thanks, Tom.